MAGA world is still reeling from their hilarious electoral losses this past Tuesday, where they lost in Virginia, they lost in Kentucky, and they lost big time in Ohio. In fact, the only place Republicans actually won was getting Governor Tate Reeves, a Republican, reelected in Mississippi. So that's not exactly a Herculean task here. You got a Republican reelected in a deep red state. Congratulations. But Republicans understand that they did in fact get their butts handed to them on Tuesday, and several days later now, they're still freaking out about it. Here is what Charlie Kirk had to say on Twitter. He said, quote, "The postmortem will happen, abortion, RNC, RGA, establishment versus base, etc. But one thing is immediately clear, we're getting crushed on fundraising." So Charlie Kirk is like, yeah, we're going to do the postmortem and we'll figure this out. Is it the abortion? Is it the bad leadership at the RNC? But hey, right now we're getting crushed in fundraising, and he's not wrong about that. The problem that Kirk doesn't want to address is that your party did a postmortem earlier this year, right? Where's the results on that? You know, where do we stand with it? Y'all never actually did like a big grand announcement like, here's our autopsy report. No, you actually put together a gaggle, not you, Charlie, you're not involved in that, but you put together a gaggle of idiots who came up and said, no, we think we did everything right. I don't know what happened. We're perfect. Kind of like after y'all did in the 2012 election when Mitt Romney got spanked by President Obama. You know, oh, we're going to do a postmortem in our autopsy report. And I don't know that y'all ever actually released anything from that either. So your party, Charlie, has done the postmortem tons of times. Y'all just never actually look at the results or acknowledge what really happened. So do it all you want. Your party's going to ignore it anyway. Then you had Joshua Perry, who's with the Right Side Broadcasting Network, who said, blaming Trump for lost elections is what a primary opponent would do. Why aren't the same people blaming Jukin for the Virginia GOP losing the House and not winning the Senate? Fact. GOP isn't backing its candidates with the cash to outcompete Democrats. Same goes for abortion. Like, what is it? Same goes for abortion. Like, are you saying you're losing on the abortion issue, or you're not putting enough money behind it? You see, this also goes back to Charlie Kirk's point. Like, why aren't you funding these people? Because y'all ain't got any money. Because you keep putting forth unpopular policies that cannot win with the voters, so the big money donors don't exactly want to start forking over their hard-earned cash, and I used hard-earned loosely there, just for you to piss it away and lose the election. So that's why they're not spending big money, because you guys don't have it anymore. Oops. Should have thought about that before you made your point, huh? Sean Hannity had this to say. If we're really going to be honest about this, and I consider myself pro-life, but I understand that's not where the country is. I would say first trimester, 15 weeks seems to be where the country is, and these issues will be decided by the states. That's actually, by the way, not where the country is. They 15 weeks is still not enough, Sean. But you're almost there. It's like you understand the country's not with you on this, so you're like, hey, what if we compromise and only take away your rights after the 15 weeks? Still not good enough, but again, you're like so close to understanding why people hate you. And then, of course, you have idiots like Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is like, no, screw it, we're going to double down. So Matt Walsh had this to say about it. Before you tell me that the pro-life message is a political loser, answer me this. How many Republican candidates fought back hard and effectively on this issue, actively went after the left, ran ads attacking their opponent for supporting the dismemberment of fully developed infants, which nearly every Democrat does, and actually countered the left's pro-abortion narrative with a strong and affirmative pro-life narrative? It seems to me that the pro-life message is being blamed and racist where the pro-life message was never even articulated. Matt Walsh is genuinely stupid, by the way. Matt, the pro-life message was never articulated. There was a ballot initiative in Ohio to enshrine abortion rights into the state's constitution. Okay? It was on full display for everybody to see. That's where it was. I mean, you can pretend, if you want, that these things didn't happen, but they did. But Matt Walsh is a great example of what the Republican Party does. At least the other folks I mentioned are like, hey, maybe we ought to look at these things. Matt Walsh is like, nope, let's be even dumber next time. Let's pretend that what happened didn't happen and see what happens next. And that's the problem of the Republican Party. You got a group of people that almost get the problem, but they're outnumbered by the dumbasses who say, let's just keep barreling forward with the same failed ideas. Hopefully Republicans listen to Matt Walsh, because it's proven to be political poison for them in the last 2 years' worth of elections. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.